It won't go away. I've got that feeling rushing through my body. I know that it is here to stay. It's like you're my
Hey guys, it's me, and today we are going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, and that is money. Our whole perception, our mindset about money, how we feel about money, and like always, I want to put some information out there, things for you to read and for you to watch. Then I want to, show you how these things can enhance your life, and I want to give you some of my experiences around money. Let me give you a little bit of a background how I grew up, because how you think about money is just ingrained in you as a child. So it has a lot to do with your parents or whoever you were brought up with. It has to do with society at that time, just anything that influenced you as a child. That is what originally shapes your mind around money. This has been a really fascinating thing for me to learn about, because I grew up in a family that, and you guys know I had a great childhood, not perfect, no one's is, but pretty perfect when it comes to my family being around. I grew up where my parents grew up, and my grandparents were here, and my aunts and uncles. My dad's the only child, but my mom's brothers and sisters, and I spent a lot of time with my family. Like I remember, like wanting to go out and play and I could go play until, whatever o'clock, and then we were going over to my grandmother's. So that was always very important and a very, very big part of my childhood. All of my relatives, all of my grandparents and my dad were self-employed or, had their own businesses. So I grew up with that drive all around me, that constant talk about business, about, what's going on with this business or that business. And I also grew up with stay-at-home moms. My grandmother on my dad's side, she was a nurse, but she did it kind of like, I think she might have nursed some, but she was more like a substitute nurse. And she was a stay-at-home mom when my dad was little. And then my other grandmother was a stay-at-home mom, but she always had like a little side hustle. Like when I was really little, she kept children. And that was always fun because, we just had such a good time. They had kittens and just, it was just a good time. And so I always saw her doing that, plus being a homemaker, being a mother. Then when I got a little bit older, she quit doing that and she started selling, for lack of another word, junk. She had like I guess you would say like a thrift store, but it wasn't as much like clothes or dishes or anything like that. It was antiques. It was valuable dolls. It could have been jewelry. And what we would do is we would go to like garage sales and get stuff, and then she would come home and she'd fix it up or read about it. And then she had a little storefront near my granddaddy's, his mini businesses. He had several businesses, and she would sell things there. So I was always around money, and I never realized how big of an impact that made on me. And when I got older, and especially when I started YouTube, I never knew how different people viewed money. And I never really had ever heard anyone talk bad about money like that, or think that you were a bad person if you had money. I always associated money with working hard. Like my daddy still works, and he is 72, maybe. I can't remember if he just turned 72 or 73. He still works. I just never saw anyone not working. That's just how it was. I knew of nice things. We had nice things, but I knew it was because my parents worked hard and they instilled that in us. I was never the child that just got everything and just could go out and play every day. Even in high school, I had to choose one night of the weekend to go out, and the other night I had to babysit. I didn't have to, but that's what I did. I was like the babysitter of the neighborhood. And I've told you before, since my earliest memories, I have been making money. If there was a barrette that I liked and I could make it, I made it and I sold it. If it was Christmas, I made Christmas ornaments and I sold them. I kept people's pets. I washed their cars. I picked up pine cones in the yard. I just did whatever it took to make money. And it wasn't that I was really needing it, or my parents didn't make me do that. It's just the way it was. It was just part of me, and it's fun. It's like a drive. It's something that I guess makes me feel good. And then I loved having money to do what I wanted to with, like to buy what I wanted to buy, or, you know, like I can remember even things like we didn't go out to eat a lot. If we did, it was like with our family, and it would be like at a fancy restaurant, but we didn't do Burger King or McDonald's. So sometimes I would just like to spend my money going to Burger King because that was just something different for me. I have just never had a bad feeling of money or of rich people or of just anything. And when I started YouTube, that is when I started getting kind of like the feeling that some people didn't like it if you had money, or if you were making money, or if your husband had money or something. I started picking up on that negativity. 12 years later, I really know it now. I mean, it still baffles me and I still can't comprehend it totally, but what I have done is I have anything that intrigues me like that, I like to read about it. I like to find out why people feel that way. And like I always say, I want to help you. And you can feel however you want to feel, but you cannot deny we need money. Today, tonight, tomorrow, you will need money to live. If you want a roof over your head or your lights on or to eat or to drive or to do anything, you need to have money. So why make that a negative? When I went to learn about these things, and the thing is, and I had a hard time even deciding how to approach this in this first video, because I know that once I do this, it will spawn different questions from you guys. Like I put a question out there on my Instagram stories, and I have a lot of questions about budgeting or finance or how I afford this or that. Well, I kind of want to start way down and then we can build up. And then I also want to show you how just everything is connected. Everything about developing your best self is connected. It's kind of like the good things that you do to earn money are also going to do good things for your life in other ways. Good things you do to become a better person and to enhance your character are then going to help you make money. But the one thing you have to do is you have to want it. You can't have a negative feeling about money. Just the simplest thing. Think about, oh, I hate horses. I hate horses. They're bad. They're mean or whatever. I don't know what made me think of horses. But so what's going to happen? You're not going to ever be around people that love horses. You're probably not going to ever go anywhere that people talk about horses or there are horses. You're not going to have anything to do naturally with horses. So therefore, you're never going to ever learn to love horses or know what is so great about them or all the advantages or meet the great people or learn all the wonderful things horses can do for children, or you know what I mean? You can go on and on. You can say that about anything. I like to read. I like to study. I like to watch videos. And I'm telling you guys, I could sit back there on my computer for hours, going from one thing to another and just learning about every different facet of life and about people. Well, when I started really digging into people's mindsets about money and what made people different and what made people feel so bad about making money and think that rich people were evil and that you had to be just sorry and, evil to make money, it all comes back to the same thing, and it's your mindset. A great book to read that I don't have, I need to get it. Sometimes I watch videos so many times I think I don't need the book, but it really helps. Even if you have the audiobook or you watch a bunch of interviews or you watch a bunch of videos, if I really am intrigued, I'll go get the book too, because I like to have the book to look back on. And then sometimes when I read the book, I will catch things that of course couldn't go in a 30-minute interview. Another thing I like to do is say there's a book or an author that I'm interested in or a theory, because I love psychology too. I love it all. So I read about a bunch of different things that have to do with our lives. And I've discovered if you will watch that same person talk about their book with many different people, because the interviewer will ask them different questions and you will get a different concept of their writing. When I was thinking of the best way to start this, the first person I thought of who described it the best to me was Jen Sincero. And her first book, I think, is You Are a Badass. And she said that book went so well, and so many people were so interested in the one chapter about making money that she made a book, You Are a Badass at Making Money. Then she's gone on to many from there, but the last one I bought was Badass Habits, because if you really get into our day-to-day lives and what makes us who we are, a lot of it, most of it is our habits. And I've told you, my granddaddy used to say when I was little, life is made of habits, so you better make good ones. I think that's what it is, something like that. I just always remembered I needed to have good habits to have a good life. So that's a good book to have, but this one, so good. I will listen to her over and over again. She's funny, she's very real. She gives just, I think, the best, like when you listen to Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he is so into investing and, sometimes you have to pick out, what you like out of his conversations. She is just so real, so good, full of funny stories, very unpretentious, and really holds nothing back. And I love it. So I thought what I would do is start out with, so here are some commonly held beliefs that are real winners and that may sound familiar to you. Pick whichever ones sound like something you'd say and reframe them. Okay, so this is how she used to think. You can't be rich and spiritual. Money isn't important, people are. Save your money for a rainy day. Rich people are lucky, gross, selfish, entitled, snobby, shallow, egomaniacs, holier than thou. You have to work hard to make money. You can't make money doing X, whatever. I'm too irresponsible, lazy, clueless to make money. It's not polite to talk about money. It's important to have a good, secure job. If you get excited about making money, it means you're shallow. Money doesn't grow on trees. You must go to college to make money. I love that one. Money causes stress. There's never enough money. Money is trouble. I don't want to be a sellout. You have to sacrifice having a good life to make money. Money is out of my reach. You have champagne taste and a beer pocketbook. Always have a backup plan. It's lonely at the top. Who has that kind of money? He, she is only about the money. He says, imagine walking around experiencing similar icky thoughts and feelings for something just as omnipresent as money. For example, what if you thought these things about the sky? This is kind of like the horse. The sky is the root of all evil. It's not polite to talk about the sky. Loving the sky makes me a bad person. The sky turns otherwise decent people into pigs. You'd barely be able to leave your house, let alone relish the joys of life. So just her story. She grew up in a household where money was negative. Rich people were negative. And she said it wasn't like a real, vile feeling for people or money, but it was a house where it was lack. It was just a whole negative vibe on money, and importance was placed on other things. Then she found herself, I think, 40 years old. She was a writer who wasn't making any money. She was in a band, and she was living in a garage apartment. And she said, it's funny how people that don't like money or don't aspire to have a lot of money think that all rich people do is think about money, when in reality, it's the poor people or people that don't have money. They're the ones that have to just base their whole life around money, where they can afford to live, where they can afford to go out to eat, what they can afford to order off the menu. Can you even afford to join that exercise class? Can you afford to send your kids here or there? And then you end up hanging out with people of the same mindset. And then, it's just you make a life out of those beliefs, and it's hard to break free from those. And she just got to the point where she changed her mind. And what I love about the way she talks about it is she did things that she thought were crazy. And she did things that were so out of her comfort zone, like going to seminars, like financing the money to get a coach to help her with her business. Because what she ended up doing is starting an online class to help people write their books. When I even think about listening to her audiobook, she talked about how she was on the phone with her coach, and her coach told her she needed to double her rates. And she was full of those doubts and fears. And she said right then, a client that she had, months ago contacted her, needed her help. She gave him the new rate and he accepted it. And right then, she was able to, increase her commission, her income, and what that did to her psyche. And even thinking of what even hearing that story did to me, I can remember the exact intersection in the car I was sitting at when I heard that on her audiobook. And that's what's neat about when you hear someone tell their story and it touches you emotionally, because when something touches you emotionally, it is in you. It's in your mind. It's in your soul. Like when I talk to you guys about things that I get really emotional about, and you know it because you can see it in me because it's a part of me. That is how her book affected me. It really opened my eyes to not only why do other people think this, and this. It opened my eyes to things that I thought. Like I never have been one to really concentrate on increasing the worth of my services. I always thought about working more. Like my first jobs were waitresses, bartenders. I love knowing I can make more if I want to. If I get off work from working a day shift, I can either work a double or I can get another job. I've always had that type of mindset. But I've never really concentrated on making what I do more valuable. And that is something new to me. And that's something I'm trying to do just throughout my life. Not work on having 2 houses, 3 houses, maybe just having one house that is everything I want. Or, I don't know, different examples like that. And once we get into this a little bit more, I'll be able to open up more to you. It's kind of like I just needed this introductory video to get things started, because there is just so much to it. And it is so fascinating how your mind works and your surroundings and how you can change just the smallest thing in the way that you think, and it will affect your life in such a big way. And even thinking, different things like, her relationship with her parents. I think about my relationship with my parents with money. Well, my parents are fine. They, they have money, but they grew up in a different time, and they have more of that scarcity mindset because that's how they were brought up. And so even though they can afford things, they won't get them. They'll get a few little things, but they won't get them. So it blesses me to be able to buy them things. And when you start realizing the power of making money, and we will get into that, giving it and doing powerful things with that money, you will get a whole new view on money. It's not about money, and like packing it away in your bank account. And, I might need that one day. That's just not what money is to me. I do think you need to be secure. And, I will talk about budgeting. John is our big budgeter. He is the one who is more of that mindset. I have always been more like you just don't spend more than you make. But he has always been good about putting X amount aside for savings and things like that. So we'll get into that a little bit later. I want to have, really good examples to tell you about that too. Okay, so let's see. I had another place bookmarked in here I wanted to tell you about. Okay, this is just one good example that I think she gives. It seems kind of, they say woo-woo. That's the word for when something's kind of hokey sounding or kind of too dreamy. That's one thing I want to tell you. I am not, okay, first of all, I'm never going to tell you anything that disrespects God and disrespects my beliefs, and I'm never going to go there. So you don't have to ever worry about that. 2, I'm never going to tell you anything crazy to do. And if I do talk about something crazy, I'm going to tell you the true psychological meaning behind it, because that's what I need. I got to know why you're doing affirmations. I've got to know why you are doing, X, Y, and Z, and what good it's going to be. Kind of like even with my diet. I want to know why when you hit menopause, you gain weight faster and you can't do the things you used to do. I want to know why vegetables upset my stomach. I want to know. I'm not going to take somebody's word for it. I want to know why. And that's how I am about money and making money too. So this is one of her, let's see what chapter this is in. I love it. See how I love books that are kind of like in little pieces like this, because I don't just sit down and read for hours a book. I like to read like right before bed, or now that I have this beautiful porch with the breeze, sometimes I just like to go out there and I'll tell myself I'm going to read for 30 minutes. And so I kind of like a book that's, they up your game, they make you mightier, they celebrate who you are. This must be talking about people that you surround yourself with, which is such a big deal. So anyway, here we go. Improve your environment. Pay attention to how things you surround yourself make you feel. I'm all about how things make you feel. Pick at least one thing in all the following areas and upgrade it in a way that gives you more joy and energy. Here are some of the examples. Your home, your car, your clothes, your general appearance, your exercise routine, the food that you eat, the music that you listen to, the news that you pay attention to. Oh my gosh, you guys, that makes my stomach turn, because I have so much to fill you in on how I've changed my life and how much better it is, and just all of those things. Make 2 new high vibe friends. Get clear on the specifics of what they like and how they make you feel, and write these things down. Remember talking about journaling? Journaling to me used to be just give me a break. I mean, I was brought up in very, very realistic times. You know what I mean? It's like my parents weren't dreamy. We were just, Very, very hard work principles. You get your work done first before you do something fun. And I think a lot of that is brought on when your relatives are immigrants and they're so damn happy to be here and they're lucky to be able to work and make money and be able to keep it. You know, they make you appreciate life. They make you appreciate the fact that you can work and that the government isn't taking all of your money or dictating to you where you can live and all of those things. But that's another subject. But anyway, okay, write things down. So we've already gone over the importance of journaling. If you don't like the word journaling, documenting. I used to call it just writing in my notebook. So then using the suggestions in this chapter, make a conscious effort to find high frequency, wealth conscious people to surround yourself with. Have faith and gratitude that they exist. Gratitude is another subject we're going to talk about. Do everything you can think of to find them and know that they are out there looking for you too. You know, you've heard that you are the sum of the 5 people that you hang around. I've always heard that, and I have some stories to tell you guys about my life when I used to hang around people that I had no business hanging around. And I want to tell you my thought patterns and why I thought it was okay. I justified it in my head, and I want to tell you how that brought me down. So look forward to that too. And then this is something I'm having a little bit of a hard time with. It says start a mastermind group with 1 or 2 people. Meet over the phone once a week. Give each person a specific amount of time to brainstorm and focus on their goals about getting rich before moving on to the other person. Then she says do this with high vibe, ass-kicking people. Please fill in the blank. I'm grateful to money because. Okay, that's just a little exercise and I just wanted to kind of give you some examples of this book because I think it's a good one. And I think it's a good place for you to start no matter where you're coming from. If you're coming from a place like me where you've always had, you know, a positive feeling about money, I've always associated money with hard work and worth, like self-worth and confidence and goals. And so, but it's helped me to learn how other people think about money because when I learned about how other people think about money, I only enhanced the way I think about it and things I do. And as far as the mastermind group and who you hang around with, well, if you're someone like me, I have good friends that I've had since high school that I don't live around. So I may not spend time with them. I spend most of my time with my family and, you know, my children and working, which is what I like to do. But don't discount who you are spending time with on the computer, on your phone, who you're talking to, places that you're going. And when I started thinking about that, that is when I really started thinking about what am I taking in? What am I spending my time on? And is it improving my self-worth? Is it improving my day-to-day life? Is it improving my family? Is it improving anything? Are these like-minded people? Are these people making me a better person? So that's something to think about too. It's not only who you're with in person, but it's who you are letting in, So that's what I will leave you with. So let me know what you think about this. One thing I'll go ahead and tell you I'm going to do is I'm going to be honest with you whether I think it's the right thing to say or not. I'm not going to sit here and hold back because I think that for those of you that are out there and you're on my team and we're on this team together, I will be not giving you my best if I have to weigh every word that I say. So like I always say, I'm counting on you to be an adult and to know that you have your own opinion, you have your own life. Know that I only want the best for you. What makes me feel good, what gives me worth is knowing I may be able to help you with anything, with one little thing. It could be from eyeliner, it could be to what you eat, it could be to your hair, it could be to your relationship with your parents, it could be to your friendships, it could be with your money, it could be with your children. I just love knowing that maybe something I can say or maybe some of the mistakes that I have made may be able to help you. So there's my little spiel on that. Another thing I wanted to show you is one of you guys, when we were talking about all the pens that we love, and the one that I'm loving now, I will link below, but it's one that I got at Walmart, and it is a Sharpie, and it is a fine point, and I love it. But one of you told me about this set of pens. I just got it from Amazon, and it's pens and it's highlighters that you can highlight like your Bible with. It's a Bible journaling set from Mr. Pen, but you also, I want to start highlighting my books. I've always, you know, I have hang-ups, guys, and one of them is not wanting to mess up my books. But it's just like when you see somebody with their Bible is like taped together and it's just like beat up, and you know they've been reading that Bible. Why do my books have to look brand new? I'm funny about that. Like even today, when I wanted to mark another place, I did not want to tear that piece of paper in half. It's like I've got to get over stuff like that. I think that might be my perfectionism. But so I want to start marking things in my book, because sometimes, like these books were in my closet. They were in my closet downstairs from when we moved. I haven't gotten a place yet to put all of my books. When I picked it up, I kind of wish that I had bookmarked some of my key points that I loved when I read it. So what I ended up doing was just kind of going back through it this morning. So let's just do an outfit of the day, and then I will let you go, and I just can't wait for this to carry on. Okay, so the top I have on today is one that you've seen, and how pleasantly surprised was I that I could wear, this is a new bra, by the way. I don't want to freak anybody out, but it's the Skims bralette, no wire, and it kind of crisscrosses. I'll link it below. I got it in the nude and the black, and I love them. I sleep in them. I wear them. They're awesome. And then these jeans, let me put my shoes on because everything looks better with a little bit of a heel. These jeans are new. I got them at the end of the winter, and I took the tags off of them this morning. My friend Susie told me about these, and she said, Lisa, they're the best skinny jeans. You will not even go back to your good Americans. And they are fabulous. They are, I think they're that DL something, something, something. I will list them below, but they are fabulous skinny jeans. And they are like the perfect little height or length for me. They might even say that they're cropped and just not be, I'm 5'6", but I'm mostly torso. So anyway, I love these. I love that they come up high and they are just so stretchy and comfy. And then I thought this outfit would look good with these Tory Burch, make sure I'm in the frame, Tory Burch little shoes that I got. These are just really, I don't know, they're preppy. I'm not really a preppy person, but they're pretty preppy. So I really like them. And my hair is second day hair. And last night I sat on the porch for, I don't know, a long time. John, it was dark. John came upstairs and I was like, I didn't even know where you were. Because he had come up here and looked and it was so dark. But I had curls, but the night air got into my hair. So it's kind of ratty looking today. Oh, and if you like my eyeshadow, it's the new Wayne Goss palette. I'll show it to you in my Friday video, but that's what it is. And also, it hadn't started yet, but my lip gloss is the City Beauty Sun Diego, my favorite shade besides the clear. They are going on sale starting tomorrow, Thursday and Friday. They're going to be on sale. So I might go ahead and put the link if I can get it and my code down below, because that is when you should get them, when they're on sale. The blue topaz castle ring, a Dean Davidson chain from one of his last collections, and what earrings? Oh, his little hoops. I like these little huggy type hoops. And that is it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope this opens up a whole new world for us, and I will see you on Friday. Bye-bye.